In this video, I'm going to set up an Active Directory domain controller as fast as I possibly can. I'm also going to make sure that it's as secure as possible, so stay tuned to the end for some security automation. So with all that being said, let's get started. All right, so to get started, we're going to get into Azure. I'm using Azure to set up this virtual machine. You could use VirtualBox if you don't have an Azure subscription, but if you set up a new one, you'll get free trial credits, and you might as well do it for this lab. So we're going to go in here, virtual machines. We're going to create a new one, new virtual machine. And I've got it in my development subscription, and then I'm going to create create a new resource group, JM, call it AD Lab 1. Lab 1, oops, can't spell, Lab 1. There we go. Okay, virtual machine name, JM AD fast, because we're setting it up quickly. Okay, US West 2 is fine. We don't need any redundancy, that's fine. Trusted launch, it's fine. We're just spinning this up and then we'll get rid of it later on. It's already got Windows Server 2019 Data Center, which is what I want. And I'm just using one of these burstable virtual machines. And if you're setting this up yourself, don't worry too much about the cost because you're not going to be running it for that long unless you continue with the further home lab in the future. So we'll set up a username, jmadmin, set up my password. Okay, super secure. Not. Because this is just a test machine, so it's all good. Inbound port rules, we want to allow RDP so we can connect to the virtual machine, so no problem there. Disks, image default is premium SSD, 127 gigs, that's fine. Networking, we'll make sure it has a public IP so we can connect to it from our local machine easily. And yeah, it's just going to set up a new VNet, which is no problem. Check this one, and then we shouldn't need anything else under here, so we'll just go to review and create and get this virtual machine spun up. Okay, and we create it. Cool, it shows that it is initializing, submitting deployment, and should take just a couple, maybe a minute or two to spin up this VM. The beauty of Azure and the cloud is that this machine was super simple to set up, especially if you're doing like testing or if you're doing labs at home. I mean, obviously there's some cost, but it's so much easier than having to configure VirtualBox, download the ISO and all that. All of that's built right into Azure. So I think as far as learning and getting into these types of things, I think that cloud is a good way to go. Start off with the free credits and then go from there. But yeah, it'll get us right into the Windows Server UI as quickly as possible. All right, our deployment is complete, so we can go to our resource, which is our JM AD Fast virtual machine, Windows Server. It's already running. We can hit connect. This will just let us know what the public IP is. You can check access if you want, but we don't really need to do that. So I have Microsoft Remote Desktop. I'm going to add that IP for .154.223.9. Double click it, put in our username and password. That should be it. And then accept the certificate. That didn't work. Let's try it again. There we go. That should get us in. So preparing Windows, first time logging in, so it'll take a little bit to set up our profile, get all the settings going, but we should be in very soon. One of the first things you'd want to do on a brand new server install would be to run updates. It's running a couple security updates. But since we're just using this as a test machine, we don't have to really let these fully install. We're going to be restarting multiple times. So once the server is fully up, it looks like it is, we're going to go to Manage, Add Roles and Features, and this is where we can enable Active Directory. So role-based or feature-based installation, choosing our server because there's no others, and then we want Active Directory domain services. Gives you a couple of the administration tools as well, the snap-ins, PowerShell. Add those features, click next, leave everything as default. It'll automatically install group policy with Active Directory, and then hit next, and allow it to restart if it needs to automatically restart. And we hit install, let it do its thing, and then we'll have a little bit of config to do, and then we'll reboot, and then we'll have our Active Directory set up. Alrighty, and just like that, the features are installed. So it says configuration required, but installation did succeed, which is good. So we'll close out of this, and then we'll see this little notification up here that says post-deployment configuration. So we want to promote this server to a domain controller. So this is what you'll do whenever you have a machine that you install ADDS on. You will promote the whatever server you want to be the domain controller. Server's already your domain controller. We might just be a little too early on this, but we can add a new forest, so a new Active Directory forest, and the root domain name is going to be just doing jademedia.local. So you can obviously use a fully qualified domain name, a .com, .net, whatever it is. But for this, usually whenever you're just setting up a simple domain, you can just do a .local, and machines on your network can connect to that .local. We'll go to next on this. So the functional level is always Windows Server 2016, and we have the DNS server it'll set up, and then we need to do a recovery, like a restore mode password. So we'll just set one of those up here. Okay, next on that. Don't need to worry about DNS delegation. Okay, that's our domain name. And then NetBIOS domain name rather. Leave defaults, next. Can review the options, but we know it's good, so hit next. Oh, machine needs to be rebooted before we can do this. Okay, that's fine. Cancel the wizard. Let's do a quick reboot. Oh, shouldn't have ran those updates, to be fair. Hopefully those run quickly. Oh boy. Maybe run the updates after you set up Active Directory if you're trying to do this quickly. All right, so updates ran. We are back connected to the server, rebooted. So now we have to do the same process of promoting this server to a domain controller, and clock's still running, but I will fast forward through these steps since we already went through them. All right, so now we're at the verifying stage. It's going to make sure that we can promote this server to a domain controller. After that, we'll be able to install, and then, prerequisites passed, so we'll start the install. Okay, so the server was successfully configured as a domain controller. Now it's asking us to reboot once again. So we'll close out of this and there we go. It restarted for us. Okay, so we're getting reconnected. So we are still connecting with the local admin account. That's why I'm doing the /. And we could set up, and we will set up, a domain admin account to be able to actually be connected on the domain. But for this, we're just going to connect with the local, just like we've been doing. Accept the certificate. Not always the fastest setting up and configuring new servers. Best to get yourself some popcorn or some coffee or something like that while you're waiting between stages. Just booted me out, not sure why. Let's get back in there. All right, so that reboot did take a little bit, but now we should be able to see if we search for Active Directory. It's taking its time. Active Directory users and computers. So this is where we can see the machines that are connected to the domain. We can see users. We can set up a new group if we wanted to. So say you're configuring this for an office, and say you have an HR department. You create a group for HR. It's a security group. And then whenever you go into this group, you can add members that are connected to the domain. and give them different privileges and permissions throughout. We can also go here, group policy management. And so this is our jmedia.local forest. And within here, we have our domains, and then we have a default domain policy. We can create other group policy objects and add it to the domain, or just edit the default domain policy, change settings for machines, and the like. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to harden the server using a PowerShell script. So let me go grab that. Okay, here we go. Here is the standalone Windows server applying a DISA STIG to ensure FSMA compliance. So this is all DoD standards, so highest level of compliance. And this can be run in enterprise environments, but we are going to be testing this out. So we'll just download the repository. And I did have issues with this when I was testing it out. Before extracting, you do need to make this shorter because it caps you the character limit. So let me do this, extract all. It's in the downloads on this server. Let it do its thing. All right, great. So we extracted the files here. So we have a PowerShell script that is going to reference the files that they have in here and apply these different benchmarks, group policy objects, and settings to make this server more secure, to harden it. So we will open up a PowerShell terminal. So we can cd to downloads, so we know it's there. ls to see what's in there. cd Windows. Tab is how to autocomplete in the command line. Windows script, and then we will cd into that stand. It's the only folder in there, so get in there. And then we see the PowerShell script, so we can just run that script. Make sure it pulls it. Should give it a sec. There we go. So that is just going to run that PowerShell script. Okay, so to get past this, this is not the best from a security standpoint, but we set the execution policy for PowerShell to unrestricted. Then we accept that it's not a good idea, and then there we go. Let's clear this out, clear out the terminal, and then we are going to double check the name of that. It's SOS, and then we can run it, and run it once. So it's going to take a restore point, and then it's going to apply all of those security hardening services, change settings, and the like, and we will let this run. I think it has to reboot after that, and then we'll see what has been added, like the group policy objects and such, to harden this server. Obviously, I will add a disclaimer that you shouldn't just download random scripts from GitHub and run them on a production machine or anything like that. There could very well be code in here. You should, if you know what you're looking for, you should review the script itself and make sure there's nothing nefarious in there. But even this thing that I'm running now could very well have something in it that I don't know. And it's from a trusted source, at least what I think. But since I know that this is a test machine, I'm going to be clearing it out, deleting it later. I'm not too worried about it. But we can see it's doing things. We just don't know what all it's doing exactly, or what it could be doing in the background that it is not being shown in the terminal. But currently I'm seeing that it is just adding some registry changes, and these are all things that go into aligning a machine to a DISA STIG template and hardening, CIS benchmarks, that kind of thing. And it looks like it's importing some group policy objects as well, things that if we had, say we had Firefox or OneDrive, they would be compliant. And now a reboot is required for the changes to take effect. Okay, so unfortunately, I think that the security settings were too restrictive and it disabled the local admin that I had set up or something like that, so I can't get back into the machine. I would have to completely reset all this. So I guess that's a good learning lesson to make sure you set up a domain admin or some other credentials before aligning to some of those security hardening settings. Because yeah, then you might not be able to get back into the machine. But if you're using the cloud, if you're using Azure or AWS, you want to make sure that once you're done working on this machine, since I set up a resource group, easiest way to just delete out all these resources, go to the resource group, delete resource group, and force delete, copy the name and delete, and that will delete everything that you're currently being charged for. And you just want to make sure you do that when you're just working on something that's not going to be used in production and it's just for test or for learning. So that started to delete, and I also always make sure just to go to resource groups and see if there's anything else. Usually there's this network watcher in Azure that gets set up as well, so we delete that one too. So there you go, a fully set up and secure Windows Server 2019 with Active Directory domain services running on it. This is the perfect starting point for an AD home lab where you can get more familiar with Active Directory and group policy management to be able to control a domain. All things that I'm going to cover in a future video. So leave a comment down below if you get stuck or if you have any questions along the way, and I will do my best to jump in and answer them. And if you enjoy the video, be sure to share it with a friend or colleague, hit like and subscribe. It helps out the channel and I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.